Before you do anything else, just stop for 1 second. If it feels okay, close your eyes, put a hand over your chest, breathe in slowly through your nose, let it fill you up, and let your shoulders drop. Now breathe out slowly. Let go of whatever you walked in here carrying. Here's the question I want you sitting with. What if there were 3 ordinary words, not clever, not rehearsed, not some line you memorized from a video, that could live in a woman's mind long after your conversation ended? Not because you tricked her into it, because you made her feel something real, a feeling that shows up uninvited, late at night, in a quiet moment, even when she's trying not to think about you at all. Stick with me, because today I'm going to walk you through exactly what those 3 words are, why they work on a psychological level, and how to use them the right way, with honesty, not manipulation. Most guys burn hours agonizing over a text, rewriting it 5 times, trying to sound witty, trying to sound impressive. Here's the problem. Attraction was never a logic puzzle. You can't out-clever your way into someone's heart. Attraction lives somewhere quieter, in the unconscious mind, and it responds to words that feel honest, present, and real, not performed. That's what we're unpacking today. Not pickup tactics, not manipulation, real grounded communication that makes a woman feel genuinely seen and genuinely valued. These 3 words aren't a magic spell. They're a tool, and like any tool, they only work well in the hands of someone using them with respect, patience, and good timing. If any part of that already feels true to you, go ahead and hit like right now. It genuinely helps this reach more people who are trying to build real, healthy connections instead of games. And if you want more grounded, psychology-backed content like this, subscribe and turn on notifications. I put out new videos on emotional intelligence and authentic attraction regularly. Okay, let's get into it. Why most conversations vanish from memory. Think back. When was the last time someone sent you a message that actually stayed with you? Not the, hey, what's up, doc? Not the polite, how was your day? But I mean the message that made you stop scrolling, that made you smile at your phone like an idiot in public. What made that one different? It had weight, it painted a picture. It made you feel like the other person actually saw you. Here's the uncomfortable truth. 90% of daily conversation is forgettable by design. Hey, how's it going? Good, you? Busy, same old. That's just noise, filler. Your brain doesn't bother filing it away because there's nothing emotionally significant attached to it. But the unconscious mind works a lot like a painter. It only sketches the moments that actually mean something, and it lets everything else fade to gray. So when your words carry real curiosity, real warmth, real appreciation, those are the moments that don't fade. Those are the ones that echo back to her in the quiet hour before she falls asleep, when her mind wanders on its own. That's not a coincidence. That's emotional anchoring. A generic "how are you" dissolves instantly. But a sentence loaded with real feeling, that one lingers. The first word, I want. Let's start with word number 1, want. Sounds almost too simple, right? But say it out loud in a sentence and you'll feel the shift immediately. I want is a statement of ownership, of clarity. When you say it with calm confidence, you're not asking permission, you're not hedging, you're not leaving the door open for rejection so you can protect your ego. You're just standing in what you actually want. Compare these two. Maybe we could hang out sometime if you're free. Versus, I want to take you to dinner Friday, I already know the place. Feel that? The first one is soaked in uncertainty. It practically begs for permission. And the second one is grounded, decisive. It doesn't need her approval to exist. It's simply true, and she gets to decide if she wants in. This isn't about being aggressive or pushy. It's the opposite. It's emotional maturity. You know what you want, and you're not afraid to say it out loud. That quiet certainty is what creates healthy tension, the kind where you lead with respect, and she gets to respond in her own time, on her own terms. The second word, because. Word 2 is even smaller, but it might be the most powerful one on this list, because this little word turns a generic compliment into actual proof that you've been paying attention. I like talking to you. Fine. Forgettable. Everyone's heard that 100 times. Now add because. I like talking to you because you notice things most people walk right past. Suddenly, it's not flattery anymore. It's evidence. You saw something specific about her. Her mind, her humor, the way she thinks, and specificity is rare. Most compliments are generic enough to hand to literally anyone. The word because forces you to actually notice the person in front of you instead of reciting a line you'd say to anyone. That's what makes it land. Not the compliment itself, the proof behind it. The third word, appreciate. And now the one that changes everything. Appreciate. Here's the distinction most guys miss. A compliment usually points at the surface. You look great tonight. Appreciation points somewhere deeper. I appreciate how patient you are with people, even when they don't deserve it. That sentence tells her you're not just noticing her face, you're noticing her character, the parts of her that took years to build and that most people never bother to see. When you say, I appreciate, you're telling her, without saying it directly, I see past the surface, and what I found there is worth valuing. Now put all three together. I want to see you again, because I really appreciate how grounded you make everything feel. That single sentence plants a full emotional image. She feels noticed, she feels valued, and she feels safe enough to open up a little more. Why this works, or the psychology. There's real psychology behind why this lands the way it does. Words create emotional resonance when they do a few specific things. They anchor a positive feeling to you specifically. They break the pattern of boring, repetitive small talk. They show real specific attention instead of generic flattery. And they carry zero pressure, zero desperation. When you speak this way, you're not performing a script. You're just being present. And presence is what creates those small, authentic moments her mind keeps replaying on its own, without her even choosing to. That replay, that's the real definition of being unforgettable. Mid-video pause, subscribe naturally. Quick pause here, because I want you to actually sit with everything we just covered before we move into how to use this responsibly. That part matters just as much as the words themselves. If you're finding value in this, subscribing genuinely helps me keep making videos like this one. Real psychology, no gimmicks, no games. So if that's you, go ahead and tap subscribe now before we continue so you don't miss the next one. All right, let's talk about timing, because this is where most guys get it wrong. Using it responsibly. Timing is everything here. If you force these words into every single text, they stop meaning anything. They start sounding scripted, and people can smell a script from a mile away. Use them when the moment is already real. After a genuinely good conversation, at the end of a date that actually went well. When you notice something about her that actually stops you in your tracks. And match your words with your energy, a calm, steady tone, open body language, warm eye contact, not rushed, not over-explained. If she doesn't meet you with the same energy back, respect that completely. Attraction has to be mutual, or it isn't attraction, it's just pressure. Never chase, never push. Let it grow at its own pace, through mutual presence and mutual respect. Closing reflection. Here's the truth this all comes back to. Attraction was never about being perfect. It was never about the perfect text, the perfect timing, the perfect line. It's about creating moments that leave a mark. Moments that feel real enough that her mind keeps them, even on the nights she's trying not to think about you at all. When you speak with honesty, presence, and genuine appreciation, you stop blending into the background noise everyone else creates. You become the person she actually remembers. Final CTA. If this hit home for you, drop a comment below. Tell me about a moment when someone's words actually stayed with you. I read every single one, and I want to hear your story. And if you're serious about communicating with more intention, hit like, drop that comment, and subscribe for more grounded, real-world psychology on attraction, emotional maturity, and building connections that actually last. Thank you for spending this time here. Thank you for choosing awareness over assumption. That alone puts you ahead of most people. Until the next one, breathe deep, lead with presence, and always lead with respect. End.